Welcome into the era of AI. Hello and big welcome. This is an update that I'm making regarding a question asked in the Q&A by one of our students in this course. And they basically asked for more GPTs, if we could create more GPTs. Now, we talked about the GPT Store, probably not so much about what GPTs are for. And we probably didn't really touch upon the side of creating GPTs, which is why this lecture is very good if you are seeking to create a couple of GPTs. So we're going to start off by creating the first GPT, which is going to help you create thumbnails like these. Now, these are thumbnails created entirely with AI, with ChatGPT's help, of course. And these are just some examples, right? So if you have a money channel, let's say you want to create a thumbnail that says how to save $10,000 or how to make $10,000. Let's say you're in the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency niche and you want to make a thumbnail that says Bitcoin explodes, next big move. I'm pretty sure you might have seen these in the form of ads. These are used by affiliates to catch your attention so that you can click on their links. And let's just say you have a psychology channel, a horror movie or a horror channel, right? Top 10 scariest places. All of these are thumbnails created by AI, and we can create a GPT that is specialized in describing these particular thumbnails. And as you can see, this is for movies, fitness. If you're in the fitness niche, right, you can create some interesting fitness thumbnails. If you're in the travel niche, then you can create some very interesting travel thumbnails. Have a look at all the details, right? So there's the plane in there, there's the baggage, there's the person jumping from because he's having so much fun. Here we have another example, and then another example, and this one is pretty good because there's more people swimming, right? So cooking as well is a niche, right? So if you're into creating these types of YouTube thumbnails as well, this can be accomplished. Gaming is another niche as well, and as you can see, here are some interesting thumbnails. We also have the DIY craft. So, of course, these are just examples, and you can generate thumbnails for anything, really. And these GPTs, let's dive deep into them. So first of all, in order for you to create a GPT, you need to come over here to the Explore GPTs side, okay? Now, as of late, normally you should be able to access GPTs just fine, even if you have the free ChatGPT plan. And these GPTs, each one of them is capable of doing a specific task. So we have GPTs that are capable of writing for you. We have the humanized GPT, which basically can take AI content and humanize it, all right? And we even have, these AI humanizers. There's a lot of them. We have GPTs that create videos for you, GPTs that create a PowerPoint presentation. Would you believe it? Yes, they are, and they exist. GPTs that would help you with Excel, that would help you with math, help you with anything really. And GPTs are nothing more than ChatGPT, except for it is programmed to do a specific task. And when you create a GPT, you can actually link to your own website if you are interested to get some traffic. For example, the people that created this GPT, which is used by a lot of people, this one creates presentations. So because they have added their link here, the link to their website, they are now capable of linking to their website, in which case people can actually go to their website from here. And when they start the chat, they will be taken to their website to see the results, which is the PowerPoint presentation. So they get a lot of traffic. So if you can find a way to create a GPT, like a tool that can take people to your website after they finish or they prompt it, you are a big winner, because there's many people that have created winning GPTs that generated them a lot of traffic. And here in the settings, which we have accessed early on, you can go and you can look at your builder profile and you can connect to your website if you have one. So any GPT you create will be attributed to you, your website, which is going to get you some free traffic. But now let's create our GPT by clicking on the Create button. Okay, so I have shared with you some prompts that you can access. So since we're creating a GPT that basically creates the perfect YouTube thumbnail description, I've shared this prompt with you in the resources of this lecture. This prompt is simple. It's nothing more than 4 prompts that you just need to copy paste okay, to program this particular GPT. So I'm going to get started by copying step number 1. So let's copy this and explain later. So here, I'm going to paste this. You can converse with your GPT through this. Now, I'm saying you are a creative assistant specialized in describing the perfect YouTube thumbnail when given a short video description. You will generate a detailed and compelling thumbnail idea. Does that sound good? All right, so I'm going to hit generate. So now what it's going to do, obviously, it's going to ask me or if the name that it's going to suggest is good. So it suggests the name of Thumbnail Genius. I'm going to say yes. By the way, you will not be allowed to use names such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. At least you can use them, but you will not be able to publish your GPT nonetheless if you use such names. You might encounter these types of errors sometimes. You can either click regenerate, in which case it will probably go ahead and just finish the job, or you can refresh the page. So it has suggested a pretty good name, right? Thumbnail Genius sounds good. Now it's going to suggest a logo, okay? The logo seems good as well, right? So I'm going to say good as well, right? Okay. So now after you've done this, go ahead and copy paste the other prompt or the other steps. So I'm going to copy this one from the include part, like so, and paste it in. So as you can see, this says include the main elements, color scheme, I'm going to enter. Now, while it's basically answering, notice on the side that we have the name, Thumbnail Genius, the GPT. We also have these conversation starters. So how could you change the logo and the name? Well, there are two ways. You can either ask it to change it from here, from the GPT message builder, or you can go to the configure area and upload your own logo, or use DALL-E to generate another one. Or you can change your name from here. You can change the description of your GPT. You can even change the entire instructions, and you can even go as far as changing the conversation starters. So we can change all the conversation starters with a prompt as well, right? Which I'm going to do. Now here, DALL-E 3 image generation, keep it enabled, keep the web browsing enabled. And if you want to connect to a specific API, you can connect by enabling an action. So I'm going to create now. Okay, so here we go. Now here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say change the conversation starters. Right, change the conversation starters to viral YouTube thumbnails. So right now it's going to go ahead and change the conversation starters to viral YouTube thumbnails. All right, here we go. Now, okay. So now it's basically asking me a question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and copy step number 3. It still did not change the thumbnails idea. So I'm going to say I am targeting viral niches such as crypto, money, etc. You know, just things that get views. So here it's updating the GPT. In the meantime, I could paste in my prompt or my third step prompt. All right, so try it. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to paste this one. And then there's the final one. And let's get to work because we haven't finished. We have just created the GPT. Now we're going to utilize it. We're going to utilize it to its fullest capacity. Okay, so let's regenerate. Now, they keep telling me this unable to generate, which I just can override. Now it's updating the GPT, and you'll know everything is fine when you see that it's loading naturally. Okay, so here they have changed the conversation starters, as I said. Now I'm just going to paste in the final prompt, and now we can publish this GPT, okay? We can publish this GPT, and we can get started using it, all right? So once it answers the final question or the final instruction, all right, that's good. So I'm going to actually go ahead and click on create. You can continue the conversation, continue to program your GPT. Now I'm going to click create, and here I want to publish this to the GPT Store, obviously. Not in the it's in the category of writing, yes, because I'm not asking it to generate a image, and I'm going to save. Now, generating thumbnails through DALL-E 3 is great, but it's not as good as Leonardo. So I want you to go to this tool called Leonardo AI. Okay, so here's how you go to it. You go to leonardo.ai, and you basically just click launch the app, and you just wait a second. All right, so let's go back to ChatGPT. Let's view our GPT. so that we can have a conversation with it and let us describe a video that we want to create. Let's say I have a free method that can 100x, or that can help make 10K or $10,000 per day from trading. This can enable people to win all trades, right, with no mistake. So if I hit enter, now it's basically generating a description for the GPT, or for the thumbnail. So it's generating it. Now this is a pretty good description, except for it's quite long. So I'm gonna actually say shorten the description, because the description is quite long. So going back to Leonardo, here is Leonardo. It's still loading. So I want you to click on the image generation feature. I'm sure I've already introduced you to Leonardo before, but it's okay to introduce you to it again. So here, as you can see, we are inside of Leonardo. Now, you can generate as many images as you want at a given point. So if you want to generate 8 images at a time, you can do it. If you want to only generate 2 images at a time, you can also do it. I'm going to switch to 4. The size for a thumbnail is 16 by 9 inches. That's the ideal size. And everything else, leave it as is. If you prefer fast than quality, go for fast. But that's not going to generate the quality you want. So just keep it at quality, or put it at quality if that's not the case. And here we go. So here's the description. So focus on the description for a second. All I need to do right now is to copy this. So I'm going to copy this description, head right back into Leonardo. I've changed the size over there. All I need to do right now is to paste this in. So after I paste this in, this is how much tokens it will consume, which is good because it's going to renew my membership in a couple of days. And as you can see, it's generating this right now, which is exactly what I want it to do. Okay. All right. So here we go. Title, make $10,000 a day, 100% win rate, background, split with bright green, right? Smart, Okay. So it's normally it should generate a way or thumbnail that should go viral. That's what it should do. That's the job of the GPT which we have created, is to describe a great thumbnail that we can then generate using Leonardo Phoenix, right? The most recent Leonardo model, right? All right, so here we go, right? We have a couple of thumbnails. Well, one says make $2 million a day or $20,000 a day. That's too much. But as you can see here, this is a thumbnail all done for us. You can see make 10,000 day trading, 100 win rates, 100% win rate. All right, and we have some other ones. All right. We have some other ones, and so on and so forth. So now let's actually, right, say, for example, that we have a channel which is about vampires and werewolves. And let's say that we have made an interview with one of the werewolves, like Dracula. So say I made an interview with Dracula, create a short description for the thumbnail. Do not add too much details, but make it viral. And Dracula was scary. Let's just say it was scary. You know, we know what Dracula does if he gets thirsty. So as you can see, it's describing this thumbnail as short as possible. So I'm going to go and copy this. Title text interview with Dracula, terrifying encounter. So let's go ahead and paste this in, all right? Paste this in. So this is the stuff, the viral stuff. Let's generate this. Okay, let's generate some more. Let's say that it's a fight between an anaconda and a bear, all right? So a fight has broken between an anaconda and a bear, and it's terrifying. Okay. So let's generate a thumbnail such as that. All right. These are also thumbnails that can go particularly viral. All right. And as you can see, it's describing the perfect thumbnail for us. So you can see it's doing its job, what we programmed it to do. So what you need to understand is that GPTs do what you programmed them to do. They are, on the other hand, a version of ChatGPT that you create, you customize. You make it according to what you like. Now let's generate this extra thumbnail. All right. So the other one is still being generated. Finally, right, we have it. So as you can see here, have a look. Isn't this incredible? Isn't this viral? Isn't this good? So let's go full screen. Interview with Dracula, terrifying encounter. Yeah, looks good, right? So as you can see, yeah, this is what you can expect. Interview with Dracula. All right. As you can see, we have some more, right? Interview with Dracula, terrifying encounter. All right. So if you maybe want to start a faceless YouTube channel where you just make it about interviewing a famous horror or a horrific person like these people, Dracula and the werewolves, then yeah, it could work. These types of ideas on YouTube, they work. I'm giving you ideas that work. All right. So here, the other one is being generated. So I think we have it now. All right. That's pretty fun. So here we have the anaconda versus bear. Okay. You can see it looks pretty good. Looks like a movie almost. Now, there are some grammatical mistakes, but there are ones where there are no grammatical mistakes. And you can see the level of realism. Anaconda versus bear, terrifying fight. Now, I could tell you this could go viral. So now let's say that it's megalodon was discovered, right? So or megalodon versus T-Rex, right? So I created a video about megalodon versus T-Rex. All right, who wins? So it's going to go ahead eventually. It's going to generate a thumbnail idea. So this is what it was programmed to do. This is what it's going to do. All I need to do is to describe what I want to describe. And this is available to anyone to use in the GPT store. And the good thing is if a lot of people like it, if a lot of people find it useful and use it, the good news for you is that if you have linked your website to that GPT, you could benefit from a lot of traffic. Like I've shown you, there are people that have created very simple tools, like a tool that can help people with creating presentations. And that website now gets more than 500,000 conversations with that particular GPT because it's that useful. And you can boil that down to how much that is in AdSense revenue and so on and so forth. So it's really good, really, really good. So here we have the megalodon. All right, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do one more. For this one, I'm going to be creative. Let's say that, well, it's about a particular dragon versus vampire, who wins. All right, so dragon versus vampire, who wins? Well, surely it's the vampire, probably. Or I think not, because the dragon has fire. Now, as you can see here, we have a particularly good thumbnail. Megalodon versus who? Well, it didn't put the T-Rex name in there, but here, Megalodon versus T-Rex, who wins? The Megalodon looks more like a snake to me than a meg. But it's pretty good, because, these thumbnails do really, really well. I'm just giving you some ideas. Megalodon versus T-Rex, who wins? And then finally, we have another one, right, that we're going to do because we're going to have to move on. Okay, so let's copy this. Just come here, paste it in, click generate. And as you can see, it's going to eventually go ahead and do this. All right, so this is the last one. Now we have 2 more GPTs that we're going to create. So let's go ahead and create them. Next. All right, so we have a couple of thumbnails. Dragon versus vampire, who wins? I like it. I like it so much. And as you can see here, dragon versus vampire, who wins? And again, another one. And then another one. All right, so hopefully you've enjoyed this particular lecture so far. I will see you in the next one, in which I'm going to show you how you can create let's just say, a GPT that generates t-shirt designs, right? So if you're interested in such a thing. So without further ado, let's get right into it.